All right, good day, hi, or good night, good evening, hi, and welcome. I'm at the Cafe 1870. I want to stay longer. This is such an interesting night tonight. I know you guys can't see me, so it's one of those blogs where you just can't, you can hear me, but you can't see me. And I know that sucks, but there's somebody behind me, or is that? Oh, that's my tail light, that's right. Try not to run anybody over here. Try not to smack into anybody. What a night! Wow, we had a trumpet on stage tonight. Okay, I don't want to hit anybody. I can't really see nothing. Okay, where's this guy going? Back, turn. This little thing turns really good, but that guy's kind of parked out a little bit further. I don't want to hit him. This guy's parked in the worst possible spot. And then that guy, I'm like, what the hell? I mean, and people did this kind of parking when they were sober? Are you kidding me? How the hell are they going to get out of here? Don't run anybody over. All right. I'm like, what the heck? What kind of cockamamie parking jobs are these people doing here? You can't do that. If I suddenly just start glowing, it's because there's lightning right now. And, oh wow, that was a good flash. So my goal is to get home before the storm. It was raining, so I thought, oh, there we go. There we go. What a great night, though. I gotta just say. Great night, great lineup. Had a tenor guitar on stage. Had, what you call it, stop. Alright, that's kind of a Quebec stop, but it'll work. Yeah, just really, really good lineup. That Isabel lady, she was host there about 2 or 3 weeks ago. She got up, and then the host tonight, I forget what his name is, he basically pulled out a little friggin' trumpet and started jamming along there. I was like, oh, geez, that's cool. My song selection night wasn't bad. I think the Meatloaf was a little too on the heavy side for a Wednesday night, but I pulled it off well. I'm a little too high energy. I gotta work on my song selection because it's just, I don't know. It's kind of like I'm going. It's not that I want to do what everybody else is doing. I don't want to do that, but I want to get it so that people are. I was kind of asked. One lady was asking me, like, "Do you play any songs that people could dance to?" I was like, yeah, So it's like I don't want to do ballads because you don't really dance to ballads, right? So for next week, I'm going to see if I can pull something out a little bit more dance friendly. I don't know what I'm going to do though, because again, I'm a metalhead, right? So it's like, but I played very well tonight. Everybody played well. The young lad that was up before me did a couple originals. Very good voice, very, very cool. Like. It's just good. It's just good. There was a bit of fiddling. We were in Das Boot tonight. the guy was a bit apocalyptic in his speeches and everything like that today. He was kind of a funny guy. Everything was kind of morbid a bit. Their songs were a bit morbid too, but they were really good. A lot of finger picking. That's the thing I noticed. Everybody fingered. Nobody uses a pick there, but me, except for maybe a few people might use a pick once in a while. So. The style, I'm trying to see what kind of songs I could really hone in on there. That, watch the speed here. Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of a tough crowd to figure out what they're going to like. I mean, they clap and they enjoy it, but I haven't honed in on what they're haven't reeled them in yet. So I'm going to, and that's the thing about a jam, though. Like, you'll try a song, you think it's going to go really, really well, and you play it well, but the people don't. They like it, but they're not fully responsive. And then you play something else that you think, I'll just throw this old song in there. And then bang, everybody's like flipping out and dancing and hooting and hollering. And I'm still trying to do that. So I think I got to take a second look at my song playlist. And I don't want to really bust out all the old classics. I know they're an easy hit. I'm trying to bring in stuff that's, 90s, early 2000s, stuff like that. But I think the stuff I play is a little bit too raunchy for a 3-song set or a 4-song set. I always get 4 songs. Tonight I did Classical Gas. Everybody liked that. I did, wow, that was a big thing of lightning there. I did To Be With You by Mr. Big. People liked it. I pulled out Bat Out of Hell. That was everybody liked it, but I think it was just too heavy for the night. Just, like following up everybody else that's playing a lot more mellow than me. It just, I thought it'd see if it'd get the room going, but it doesn't really get the room going. It just kind of it's just the wrong song. You got to work your way up to a song like that. That's a song you play like the last set of the night type of thing when everybody's really riled up. So too much power too soon on that one. And then I did One Republic, You Are the Future, I think it's called, or something like that. It went over well, but again, it was just a little too high energy for a Wednesday night, I think. Played it well, responded well, but I just don't think the people want that much energy. But they do want something they can dance to, by request, of course. It's nice when people ask for requests. You actually play songs that people can dance to. So I'm thinking, okay, well, what can I pull out next week? Now, a song I want to pull out on stage, but I'm going to have to practice this one to ad nauseum. And that's, I want to pull off More Than Words by Extreme. And that one's going to be really tough to do. I've been working on it. I'm getting it in, reining it in pretty good for what I'm doing. But that's one of those songs you either nail it or you blow it. It's just it's a challenging song to play, and it's a challenging song to sing, and it's difficult to play and sing it at the same time and make it sound like the song is supposed to be. So I could have pulled that one out tonight, but I'm not complete on it. And considering the acts that I'm following and the acts that are following me, it's like they've got their shows down perfectly. And it's like, okay, well, but this is what you're going to find at a jam, that someone's going to go up on stage and they're going to blow you away. But the next time you hear them, they're going to play a couple of new songs, but they're always going to go back to a song. And then every time you hear them, they're always playing the same song, same 5 songs. So of course they nail them. I'm always trying to bring out a song that I haven't done before in front of that audience. So they never hear the same songs unless they request it or something. Whoa, that's a big lightning. And so it's hard to come up with 3 songs or 4 songs each week that, number one, nobody else is doing. Number 2, and strangely enough, the standard songs that you would normally hear at a jam night, like what you call it? What's the song? Like Take It Easy, Copperhead Road, stuff like that. All the stuff that Angie, all those songs. Yes, you will get a standing ovation. The Brown Eyed Girl, all these songs that people normally play live, but everybody is like, you don't take chances on those songs because there's a good chance that it's going to be like Patience from Guns N' Roses. It's going to be played 4 times in one night, and it's like, did this guy do better than the last guy? You know what I mean? And so a lot of people, I haven't heard it there. Like, this is a very unorthodox jam night, which makes it kind of cool. I mean, this is the first jam night I've ever been to. No, sorry, I'm lying to you. No, I have been to a jam night where there was this is the first one with a trumpet. Last time there was a brass instrument. I've jammed with saxophone players and French horn players. That was interesting, but that was at a jazz bar. The vibe I get, what people really like there, is that kind of 1920s-ish kind of sound of, I guess you could say it's like fusion jazz, R&B would be the main staple of what the appetite is there, which is styles I don't normally play at all. I just don't play those styles. I'm a metalhead, right? So it doesn't mean I can't make it work. I gotta dig into take it into a different direction. Because yes, you'll play a song really well, the people will clap and everything like that. But if the songs are not resonating with the audience, and you got to be honest with yourselves, if they're not resonating with the audience, you can get an idea that, okay, well, this song didn't work well, I'll try this one. Yeah, but if it's the same type of song, it's a good chance that what you're trying to feel out with your audience is, what gear do they want to be in? What is it they're, what's the vibe for the night? So tonight I did we'll say the pace was the same gearing, like timing wise, but the intensity from the like classical gas. Classical gas goes over well, but it's not. You could dance to it. It's not a song that people know with lyrics. Like they definitely appreciated the guitar playing angle of it for sure. Like, wow, you're an amazing player. I'm like, well, this whole thing, it's a nice compliment. I don't think I'm an amazing player. I'm a good player. I'm honest. I'm a good player. Amazing is a very high bar to put up. And it's very hard to be amazing live. Anybody can be amazing on the 30th take when they're recording. But that one shot at it, that's one thing I love about open mics and stuff like that, is no matter how good you are, you only get one shot. But I will say tonight, I'm very happy because every note was accounted for tonight. I don't think I missed a single note. I don't think I missed a single line. The footage will tell the truth, you know what I mean? But that's what it feels like tonight. I think tonight was the night where I kind of nailed it. I kind of got what I wanted out of it. The mic worked good. My seating position on the stage was good. It was very hot tonight. Very muggy. Very muggy. Not as hot as I thought it was going to be. But my guitar stayed in perfect tune. It was probably a little loud, but I didn't bother wanting to play around with the tuning on a hot, muggy night. It sounded like it was in pretty good, so it was enough that I could just press a little harder on the chording and pull it into tune if it was out at all. I don't think it was though. It didn't sound like it. Everything seemed to. That guitar is a great, like I say, you can go and play in -40 weather with it and then walk in and put it right beside a wood stove and then pick it up and play it and still stay in tune on you. Like that guitar, if it's out of tune, it'll just stay in that tuning. Like it won't get any worse out of tune. That's why it's a good jam night guitar. It just takes the beating, you know what I mean? It's a great little guitar. $400, you know what I mean? 10 years ago, whatever, 20 years ago, whatever I bought the darn thing. But I will say this, the variety, it's just like, there was, I was going to do White Lion's Wait just to see if I could pull it off tonight, and it was just like, no, that's not the song for tonight. So I thought, well, I'll try something different. Now, I do want to do these kind of songs live, just to say I've done them live, because it's a great way to record stuff, is live. Because wow, it's like, people are like, wow, it takes a lot to go up there. That's to me, it's nothing to go up on stage. I just enjoy it so much, What it is that it takes a little while to get used to yourself on a different stage every time, whether the sound coming back to you, getting used to the dynamics of the mic. My guitar was a little, the mids were a little bit low tonight, but it was okay. I didn't want the guitar to cut through too much because of what I was playing. I really wanted to focus on a very nice smooth show, but I was a little bit over bassy on the fine tuning, but it wasn't bad. Not enough that it would stop me from playing what I was playing, you know what I mean? It didn't sound like mud tonight. It was really good. So I think all in all, everything just kind of fell together pretty good. But my song selection, I did the two songs that I wanted to do, and then I switched it up because I didn't know what my third or my technical fourth song, because technically I'm only supposed to do three, but like the sound man always says, he's like, well, your songs are pretty quick anyway, so if you could, it's 15 minutes, so if you could squeeze 4 songs in there, go for it. Don't worry about it. We know you're not going to go. You're not going to hog the stage for 45 minutes or something like that. You're not going to be that guy. And that's fine. That's really fine. Because the way I look at it is, at the end of the night, as long as whatever you pick, you play well. Like the guy ahead of me, he only did 2 songs or whatever. I was kind of, and he was like, no, I don't want to do a third one. It's, I'm good. I just wanted to play this song and this song. That's what he worked on. That's what he prepared. That's what he was going to. I should have actually recorded him. It was a good night. It was a very good night. There's always something interesting there. The guy tonight, the host tonight was, again, quite morbid in his songs, but I got a couple of them. But he played the fiddle, he played that tenor guitar, he played the guitar itself. All the songs seem to have like a very nihilistic side to them, but they were good. They were all good. They were all different. You know, I guess they must be originals because I never heard them. Or the guy was a little older, so a lot of these covers are probably from the 60s, 70s. I think he did a Bob Dylan tune or something like that. Oh no, it was the other guy. So, you know, they are receptive of, what you call it, people doing originals in there. I really like that, so I'm going to have to start pulling out some originals. That's cool. That's very cool. I've done I think 2 already on there, but they're all instrumentals, right? So I'm like, okay, well, that's fine and dandy and all. I don't mind doing the originals at all. But I also look at it from a point of view of, you know, does it fit the night? So I gotta find some songs. I'm gonna have to go through my, like, I mean, the nice thing is I know the right songs are gonna come out for there. I don't know if I should take it more like the hillbilly way that I normally do, like, you know, the Copperhead Road, Fishing in the Dark kind of stuff. If people want that, I don't know if they want that, or if they're really set in the vibe of like 1920s jazz kind of songs or whatever. You know, like for example, this Isabel lady. She plays like Aretha Franklin, you know, Tracy Chapman type stuff. So you get the idea of that kind of R&B kind of. It's toned down, but it's really good. I mean, it's excellent stuff, and it's all finger picking, and she's just a fantastic player. No doubt about that. So to kind of match that kind of a gearing for the night is a little bit little different for a metalhead. You know, what songs are going to take. You know, did Mr. Big's To Be With You, it didn't take as well as I thought it was going to. I didn't get to sing along. That's probably the first time I've ever played that live and not get a sing-along, you know what I mean? Although I haven't played it live too many times. I think I did it maybe about 4 or 5 times before. But, again, it's a different venue. Maybe people don't even I mean, maybe it's too new. You know, this is a 90s tune and it's too new. But I could see people were enjoying it. They just, you know, whatever. I like the way I did the solo on it. I chopped it up a little bit more just to make it kind of stand out a bit. I'll see how it came out. I mean, Paul Gilbert is a, you know, he's an interesting guy to try to play. He does cool stuff. Beautiful melody to that song. I'm just hoping I pulled it off, that it stood out enough that people really enjoyed it. But it seemed like people enjoyed it. The Meatloaf people enjoyed it, but I think it was too early in the night to play that. I played the 4th spot because the thing is that when you play right early, you got to play the mellow stuff right early. Why? Because people aren't warmed up to the raunchiness yet. You know what I mean? So there's that. But on the other hand, I think next week I'm trying to think of songs that are danceable, upbeat enough, and fun enough that it really draws the people in, even if they don't know the words, right? So, yeah, you can pull it off, but if it's too upbeat, it seems like it's too early in the night to do that. Maybe it's just because it's a weeknight, I don't know. But, yeah, I don't know, I'll see what sticks. Because once I find what kind of music that they're going to want to hear, like, I could pull out the Jimi Hendrix stuff, and I know that stuff will go over well. I know, you know, all those, like, Led Zeppelin, stuff like that, always goes over well because it's so familiar. But I'm trying to do newer stuff, you know what I mean? Not that I don't like the other songs or anything like that. Of course I do, I love them. But it's doing songs that, it's like, oh wow, hey, I never heard that played live before. I know the Bruce Springsteen stuff will go over very well. But I don't know if I want to, you know, do that, you know, because it might be, I mean, I've done it. I've played like a few Bruce Springsteen. Bruce Springsteen songs always go over well. I'll just say that. They always go over well. But the thing is, I've played it so much, so many times, that it's good. I'm trying to find newer stuff, you know. And the thing is maybe everybody really likes it, but it's so unfamiliar to them that they can't sing along or whatever. So, I I don't know what I'm going to pull, what kind of rabbit I'm going to pull out of the hat to do this. I mean, it's kind of one of those things that, again, you know, just working through a repertoire. Again, you get 4 songs. It takes a while to see which way your audience wants to go. Like if I would have played another 4 songs in a row, I'm pretty sure I probably would have picked, say, okay, the audience seems to want this tonight. You know what I mean? And it's nice to have enough songs to be able to do that with. That's one great thing. But also, too, with a jam night or whatever, you want to pick songs that, you know, okay, I practiced this one all week. I want to make sure that this is what I get to play. But then the guy ahead of you or behind you, or not so much behind you, don't care about the guy that's following you up, but the people ahead of you that are playing might set the tone at a different pace for you. So it's like, okay, well, jumping from that song right to what I'm doing might be too much. Or it might not be enough. You know what I mean? Like, that's why I don't like playing all ballads. Semi-ballads, upbeat ballads, yeah, you could get, that's a nice middle road. But if it's too ballady, people don't dance to it. If it's too heavy, they can't get into it too early on, right? So it really does kind of, the guy or girl playing ahead of you kind of does set the tone. Now, the guy that played ahead of me, he was setting the tone for a much more modernized sound. He sounded, you know, obviously his songs were probably less than a decade old, one of them being his own. This guy, you know, he looked pretty young. He couldn't be much more than 20, you know what I mean, at the most, you know. So, yeah, a lot of it, he did really well, and it was a little bit more upbeat. So I thought, okay, well, maybe I'll follow up and with slightly older songs that people might know. But again, you know, it's really good, but the people were looking for something different, I think. So reading the audience becomes a bit of an art form. But again, on a jam night, don't take it too personally if your songs are the wrong tempo or the wrong, you know, the wrong song for the night. Just focus on playing the songs well. That's all I did tonight, was focused on playing well, seeing how the crowd responded a little bit. But the thing is that if you play it well, it doesn't matter what it is, people will enjoy it. And a lot of people really did enjoy it tonight. Like, you know, got quite a few comments and compliments and stuff like that. But it just seemed like the reaction could have been a little bit more lively, you know, for the liveliness that I was playing. So it's like, okay, well, that's fine. Maybe next week I'll. But then again, next week might have been the guy before me or whatever might be totally raunchy and get everybody all hyped up, and then they want to hear something really ramped up. So what I suggest is that if you're going to have, like for me, I can switch the songs like that because I have so many I can play. It's just when you get set on playing a couple of songs, I know what it's like on a jam. It's like, I'm going to play these 3 songs or 4 songs, and that's what I'm going to do. And for some people, they just cannot rewire from that. Like, it's like, okay, I'm not changing. Be a little bit flexible on that. Like tonight, song number 4 was open for me. It's like, well, I'll see which way the crowd's going. If they want a ballad, I'll play a ballad. If they want something in between, I'll play something in between. If they want something a little bit more hyper, I'll play something a little bit more hyper. And just kind of work my way in between, right, to whatever the room seems to want. And then you go from there. Now, it's different when you, like I say, when you have the whole night to yourself. Speaking of which, yes, I did ask about booking a gig. Yes, they do pay. What they do there is you can sell tickets or you can get the door. So obviously, because I don't know enough people, or I live too far away from people to actually sell tickets, what I would be doing is going for the door. So how much would I get paid? I don't know. You know, would it cover my gas? I don't know. And they are booked up for a little bit. But I was talking to the bartender. He says, oh yeah, he says, the owner rarely comes in, but you email him off the Cafe 1870 site and he'll set you up. But that old guy, Ken, there, he's 80 years old. He's in there all the time. And I was talking to him for a good bit tonight there. He enjoyed what I did. He goes, oh, you did really good tonight. He says, that was really, really good. And for an 80-year-old man to enjoy Bat Out of Hell from Meatloaf is, but the guy seems to be open for that kind of stuff. It's just like, he just enjoys the atmosphere, right? The classical gas, a lot of people really like that one. Wasn't a lot of hooting and hollering on it, but I think it set a good precedent. Yeah, I don't know. It was. Yeah. So I got some ideas for next week that I think might just really hone in on the right amount of liveliness, but also the right amount of melodic, so that it's not too heavy. The meatloaf, I'll be honest with you, it was just too early to pull that out. Although I thought I nailed it pretty darn good. Like I think I did it really well. It was just it was one of those things that I think I played it too early in the night. That's it just like everybody enjoyed it. It was too early in the night. So next week, I don't know what songs I want to get, but I really do want to bring in something really challenging to play. And that's one of the things that playing live at a jam night is what you should really use it for. Don't be afraid to do tunes that are a little out of your comfort zone, because when you do, what happens is you grow as a musician. So I'm like, okay, well, if I can pull off, say something like More Than Words next week, maybe the audience will like it, maybe they won't, but I can guarantee you if I nail it, it really does. People remember stuff like that, and then they become much more receptive to you. But you also get a chance to practice it in front of an audience. And if you do bomb, you're only up there for 4 songs anyway. Now, I don't really bomb a song, because, like I say, I don't get nervous and all that stuff that newer players usually get. I've done this long enough. What I get is like a little bit of a state of confusion. It's like, oh, okay, well, this guy just played something. Now I need to kind of rethink of which direction I want to take the night. You know, like I try to take it to a more hyper night, but it was like, okay, well, the people weren't ready for it. Okay, it was too early in the night, but, you know, I tried it. So the only song I could say that was overkill for tonight was the Meatloaf song. Not that I played it bad, not that people didn't enjoy it, but it's just I felt that it was too early. It was too early. So next week I'm like, okay, well, if I'm going to play in the 4th position, the 4th person on the stage, so to speak, I like that spot because it gives a couple other people a chance to go up. I don't like being the first guy up there, because then if you're setting the pace of the night and everybody else is playing more mellow, I like it to get a little bit, less mellow throughout the night. So, and then sometimes it's like, okay, from this guy to this guy to this guy to this guy or whatever, it seems like, okay, well, they've got a tempo going that everybody's into, and they don't want it any higher or any lower. So there's that angle of it as well, and that angle kind of puts you in a it kind of puts you in a flow that you don't want to break that flow, because you'll lose your audience a bit if you do. And like I say, it's different if I had like 8 songs, 10 songs, then you get to set the pace, right? And I tend to like to bring people a little bit into more of a hyper mode, whatever. So why? Because when people are in more party mode, you tend to make more money that way. So there's those things. So for next week, like I say, it'll be picking songs that people can dance to, that are not too high a pace, that they're just too high of energy. But I think the To Be With You song tonight was the right tempo. I should have kept it in that gearing, so to speak. And I think I would have gotten a little bit more of a response. That's a tough song to play, guys. That's a tough song to play and sing. Again, you guys know that I'm a guitar player, not really a singer. You know what I mean? So to do both, that really does. I thought I did it really well. Saw a lot of smiles in the audience. Some pretty girls there again tonight, of course. But the thing is that, again, for next week, I also like to, pick good songs that people like and can dance to, without playing the same songs that people always, you can play play songs like that you know are going to be guaranteed crowd pleasers, but you're not challenging yourself when you do. You know what I mean? Like, you know that if you play The Gambler, for example, it's a great song, awesome song. You know people will sing along with it and everything like that, but you've done it a million times. You're not challenging yourself. Where when you do songs that challenge yourself, trust me, the audience, that's when you win big and lose big on the, well, you don't lose. You never lose on the audience if you play well. It's one of those things that what you end up with is that people respect the challenging guitar playing with the challenging vocals. Even if you're not 100% on it, they're like, wow, that takes a lot to attempt that song. Wow, that you got guts. And they'll enjoy it just for that fact. Now, if you can pull it out of the hat, there's some songs that just blow people away. I was going to do like Sylvia's Mother or something like that, which I know is a good crowd pleaser. And I want to do some capo songs just because they really do liven up the night. It totally changes the atmosphere when you use a capo on a guitar. It just, I don't know, it's just the higher tuning or whatever. So there's a couple of capo songs that I could probably bring in that would be high enough tempo to get people up and dancing, but also melodic enough that it's not overkill. You know what I mean? Yeah, so there's things. But maybe what I'll do for next week is have 9 songs ready to go and just mold it to that. So where it's like, okay, well, if the audience seems like it wants to go this way, I'll go this way. That's why you'll probably see me in the video going kind of like ballad or this or what should I do? And I'm kind of like thinking out loud, like, which way do the audience want to go tonight? You know, and yeah. But as far as my little guitar, yeah, doing well. You know, the instruments that are on the stage, like again, the Taylor guitars, and Gibsons, and all these stuff. You know, these are pretty professional musicians that are up there. The way they play, I mean, you just listen to it for yourself. You see what I mean? Like, fantastic players. Now, mind you, most of these people know each other for a good while. That's why they can just jump in and jam with each other. They know each other's songs. You know, so when you're the odd man out, it is kind of hard to pull somebody up that doesn't play the same style as you. But that's also loose jams are also some of my favorite jam nights was with loose jams where it's like, okay, well, this guy plays a completely different style. This guy plays bluegrass and I'm a metalhead. Let's see what we can come up with, right? And I love stuff like that too, but it's hit and miss. It is hit and miss. Most places you can get away with it if you don't have like a gazillion musicians sitting in the audience. A place like this, you kind of do want to have your show settled out, even if you're pulling somebody up to jam. It's kind of like, okay, it's somebody you've worked with before, so that it's not just a loose jam that, okay, let's see where it goes, you know. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but it will, you know, it might not be as well appreciated. So that's the thing when you get to know a place too. But like I said, yes, I can book a gig there. Oops, some eyeballs going across the road. Out here. Ah, little fox. Little fox hanging out on the side of the road. But yeah, you know, like I'm saying, it's the more you do these, the more you get better at it, but also the more you get to learn how to work with an audience and stuff like that. I'm pretty good with the audience, I think. It's just, again, you don't get a lot of time, and you know, you can't sit there and chat for 15 minutes. You won't get to play any songs. But you know, you try to pull those people in a bit. You know, to pull them into the song a bit, get them immersed in it. That's tough, you know, especially for 15 minutes. It's really tough to be able to pull that off. So the only way you do that is with what they call a crowd pleaser song. But the problem with the crowd pleasers is that they're so common, so overplayed. Like I say, I know I'm repeating myself now, but it's a long drive home, so why not, right? That you really do have to come up with something that's just going to, put the audience at awe. I am definitely the highest tempo guitar player that I've heard in there. There's no doubt about that. For me, it's like where everybody's doing a lot more finger style, a lot more one-line finger style, and whatever. Beautiful playing. Don't get me wrong. I'm not knocking it. I'm not saying I'm better. I'm just saying I'm different. For me, you're getting the full wall of chords. You're getting a wall of me off my guitar playing. The juggernaut sound, so to speak, just the big, powerful driving guitar sound that you get. And that, can really change the dynamic of the night. So it's like, okay, especially at the speed, I tend to play I tend to do like very high intensity music. Some of the crowd's mixed in there from anywhere from 18-year-olds right up to like 80-year-olds, literally. There's an 80-year-old guy that's there all the time. But I'd say the average crowd's 30s to early 40s. So, which I would expect that they would actually, especially people in their 40s, would probably identify with the songs I'm playing because that was their teenage years too. But the venue is, like I say, it's more of a hippie town. It's more of a, rhythm and blues, that kind of stuff. So, maybe I have to pull out the Hendrix on there. I know Hendrix, I always get really good responses to Jimi Hendrix. Whether I do it in a band or whatever, because I do like little medleys with the Hendrix stuff, and that just seems to blow people away. Because I like there's a medley of guitar playing, there's a medley of, the singing, but it is actually a good jamming pace to play, so, and it's familiar. That's the thing, it's familiar. I'm trying to do unfamiliar songs. Oh, wow. Thanks for not putting me in the ditch. Hey, there's a guy that, hey, I'm coming home from a jam night for fun. This guy's, it's probably near 12 o'clock at night. He's still on the road working. That's a real job, my friends, those truckers. Yeah. So, I don't know what I'm going to do next week, but I have an idea. But it's nice to talk to people to see what they think. They're like, oh, I love your playing, but it was a little bit intense. One lady was like, that was Meatloaf you're doing. I was like, yeah, it's a little bit much for a Wednesday night, but, she wasn't being insulting or like that. Yes, stout develops truth, so drunk people tend to be a lot more honest with you. But she saw a phenomenal playing. She goes, a little bit much for a Wednesday night, but, she goes, do you know any songs that people can dance to? She goes, wow, I wanted to get up and dance, and I was hoping you were going to, she says, your first tune was really good, and I wanted to, that was the tempo. She's like, oh yeah, my friends wanted to get up and dance, or whatever. So I was like, okay, well, I get the idea of what they're looking for, So, for example, if I would have played Brown Eyed Girl instead of Bat Out of Hell, I would have had the room. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I'm talking about. But again, 3-4 songs, you pick it. I always take advantage to pull off as many songs live as I can. But one of the things I love about the jam night by bringing out new songs is that you find out very quickly if you hit a song that just really resonates. So when you do a full show, it's like, okay, I know when I play this, what I do is with my song list is I will check mark songs that get an overwhelming positive feedback. Like, for example, next week if I do Edmonds Fitzgerald, I'm going to get a standing ovation for that one. I know I am. Why? Just because the way I do it, the capo, the eerie sound, the classic tune. But I've done it live so many times, and I know that one is a given that I'm going to get, people who, you never know, maybe people there are like, oh, I've heard this song so many times. I mean, there could be a reason why we're not hearing the typical standard jam night stuff, and that reason could very well be just the idea that people are so sick of hearing those songs. Because I know most jam nights are, oh, here we go, Take It Easy once again. Great song, but again, it's the 4th time it was played tonight. Hotel California. I could pull that one out of the hat, but once again, how many times have I played that thing live? I mean, I'm sick of it, you know what I mean? Great song, but and I know that the way I play it live, it really does blow people away, especially if I use a 12-string when I play it, but I do not have a 12-string right now. But I'm going to work on that. Oh yeah, I live over here. I should probably turn in, or I'll end up in Manawaki. And we can't have that now. But I'm still, this is, okay, it might, I don't know, according to the bartender, like, I don't know how far ahead they're booked, but, yeah, I'm looking forward to booking a show there. I think it's a good place to start as a full show. And again, if I have full control of the room, people will settle into the songs you're playing, whatever. But I think I got to modernize a little bit too. But not too much, because I don't think this is the crowd that really likes the extreme modern stuff. They just, maybe they do. I mean, that One Republic song, I don't think is more than 4 years old. Maybe it's a little older now. It went good, but nobody knew it. Nobody knew it. And I'm like, okay, sometimes that is good too, but sometimes that's also... But then the stuff I'm listening to, like the songs the guy played tonight, they're the host, I never heard any of these songs before. They were good songs, they were excellent songs and whatever, but I never heard any of them before. The guy after him, obviously his original song, I never heard that before. The kid after him, he was playing something newer that was probably newer than what I was playing. And, well, his original, obviously, I never heard before. And the, the other song was fantastic. He did 3 songs, 2 were his. And just fantastic. Fantastic. Never heard them before. And I think that's what I love about it, is the newness of it. Jazz. You guys heard me talk about me going to jazz jam nights before. Let me tell you where this jazz thing comes in for me. Again, being the metalhead and all. And this was the reason why I bought a jazz box, and Ibanez Hardcore Series jazz box. I'm almost missing the thing now, because I think it would go over in a room like this with some flat wounds on it, doing some, some cool jazzy guitar playing. Like the Tommy Emmanuel stuff, like Classical Gas, I knew that was going to go over well. Like it always does. And I'm kind of running out of instrumentals that I can pull off by myself, you know what I mean? The Joe Satriani stuff, I'd love to do it, but the problem with the Joe Satriani stuff is you need a couple of overdubs to pull that one off, right? You need a rhythm guitar to keep it going. So it's one of those things. Well, maybe I could pull in a classical piece like the other guy did, but then going from classical, like Bach or whatever, and then on to some 80s, 90s rock and roll, that might be too much of a change for me. But then again, the diversity of the songs is probably that's what I love about the jam night, is that, okay, I was not expecting to hear a trumpet tonight. I just, it just totally changed the dynamic of the room with, again, she's a fan, but he went up on stage halfway through her song. That's why I didn't bother recording it. I regret not recording, even if it was halfway through the song. But it totally changed the dynamic of the room. Like that, they captured the room. These 2 players, they captured. So she was doing. She did another Chilean song tonight. She's a very, very good artist. I'm very impressed with her playing, finger picking, and stuff like that. And but here she is playing. I think it was a Tracy Chapman song or whatever. Tracy Chapman is not what I would call my style of music, but I can respect it because it's a different style. But then all of a sudden, this guy just walks up on stage and starts playing the trumpet in the back. And I mean, I went from 1982 back to 1924. You know what I mean? Just from that dynamic change. Fantastic. And then he pulls out the fiddle, and they did another duet with the fiddle. And that was, again, it just, it totally changes the dynamic once again. Like, it's just fantastic. What else can you say? you just don't know what you're going to get. You just don't know what you're going to get. So, right now I am missing my mandolin, because I know when I play a mandolin live, it really doesn't matter what I play on the mandolin, I get a standing ovation. Why? Because people are just not used to hearing a solo mandolin. Now, the guy tonight was playing a tenor guitar. Basically a giant ukulele with steel strings. that's a tenor guitar. Very cool. I guess it's, I don't know what the tuning is on that. It's probably D, A, E, G or something like that. I don't know if it would be, it sounded like, I don't know if it's in thirds or in fifths or whatever, like a ukulele. It's kind of in a strange tuning. It's definitely not in violin tuning, which is in fifths. Guitars are in fifths with a third. But yeah, it was just like, okay, well, you enjoy that because what the heck is this thing on stage? He could probably play these same songs on the acoustic guitar or electric guitar, and it'll be a totally different song. It just, the dynamic changes. And I know when I used to do what I call Tale of Two Ships and Farewell to Nova Scotia, where the Tale of Two Ships was kind of my original build-up about think about like two ships from 1812 blasting away at each other. And telling the stories how the ships get sunk, through cannon fire and stuff like that, Buccaneer style, right? And then go right into that. And it's like it's a 12-minute tune, and then with the Farewell to Nova Scotia, but it blows people away. It's the one tune you're going to do for that jam night, but it's just, you get a standing ovation because it's just like, it becomes a vibe. It's almost like what Pink Floyd does with their songs, where their songs might go on, drag on, but it just pulls you into a vibe. And sometimes you can do that with acoustic instruments or, with a band or whatever. But you have to learn the dynamic of what you're going for. So right now I am kind of, my fiddle playing isn't good enough to really pull off what these guys are pulling off. And like tonight, I mean, that fiddle player was very brave bringing a fiddle out on such a hot, humid night. It's not too bad now because it rained again, it kind of cooled off, but it is so muggy. Like how he kept that thing in tune, it's a fiddle. Like, I mean, a fiddle is one of the hardest things you can keep in tune on stage. It's just the sheer, the wood just responds to the humidity. So, but he kept it in tune, very, very, very professional. And then to pull out a trumpet or a trumpet, you know what I mean? Like, I mean, it was the small horn, not trumpet, small, bugle horn, so to speak, trumpet. Again, awesome. It just fires me up so much, guys. Like, it really is. I know there's a lot of horrible stuff going on in the world. One guy was talking, one of the players there, he got up there and he's talking about how he went to Nova Scotia and then New Brunswick and all that, just to get away from all the crazy stuff going on in the world today. He was talking about how he got Trump derangement syndrome. I hold my tongue. I understand. I'm surrounded by a lot of people that are going to be more on the left. But maybe there's a few people that are on the right too. But it's an escape from that, and something that I really want to impress on people. That you know what? You guys know I'm on the right, but I could sit in a bar full of probably, well, again, you don't know. You assume everybody around you is a leftist. You assume everybody around you is a right-winger if you're left. You assume everybody's left-wing if you're right. I get that. But one thing is that even if you don't politically agree with people, it doesn't mean you can't enjoy their music. It doesn't mean you can't enjoy it. I mean, you got to separate the people from the politics, you know what I mean? And that's what this channel's kind of about, is inspiring people. I know the late night drive homes with the bad camera, well, no camera angle because it's dark. Yeah, I get it. You guys don't like that, but maybe you like listening to this because maybe it just gets you out of your head for a little bit. I'm hoping you're really enjoying these pubs, this pub, because guys, I'm 3 years behind my schedule of what it is I wanted to do. And, money's tight. I get that, and it's still tight for me. It is. But I'm not going to stop living because things are a little bit difficult. I'm not going to stop living because the world isn't always on par with what I want. I'm going to live, I'm going to be on the fence. I'm going to be, cognizant of my surroundings, what's going on in the world. But I am going to enjoy myself, and I'm going to share that with you when I do, even if you don't agree with me on certain things, and that's fine. And that's what this channel is about inspiring you guys to just kind of get out of your heads for a little bit and enjoy life. And that, I think, is very, very important. And why it's so important, I just got to stop here for a moment. But why it is so important is that at the end of the day, I'm sitting in a bar with a guy that's 80 years old. We were talking about hunting, fishing, trapping, and stuff like that. I know the table right next to me of the people that, mind you, really cute girl there, but taken, I'm pretty sure. But the thing is that, yeah, different walks of life and stuff like that, we can sit in the same rooms and not kill each other, But the thing is that you can go out and live a little. And some people have lost sight of that. And the things that I'm doing, like, I know some of you want to get into playing music live. Maybe you're a bit afraid to do it. Maybe what I might do might not be the most inspiring things. Maybe you don't really like my style of music or whatever, and that's fine. I'm okay with that. But maybe the other people that I capture, you'll say, hey, you know what? That sounded like he was having a really good night. Maybe I should try something like that. Just, broaden the palette a little bit and enjoy yourself. And that is what life is about, is you're born, you live, and you die, and everything in between is yours. And I know that if people can do that more, maybe, just maybe, we might be put under a renaissance again. And that would be very nice if people could just kind of, if everybody on the planet had the same night I had tonight, everybody would have had a really good night. You would have had a really good night. You talk to people, you mingle. It is a place, like I say, where people are not super, super sociable because we're getting closer to the city. So you got to kind of warm up the people and get into the in crowd before people are just, hey man, how's it going, whatever. But people do kind of reach out to you a bit when you do go on stage, you do play live and whatever. And they want to talk to you. They want to meet you. They want to meet new people, because when they wake up tomorrow and they go to work, they're like, oh man, this guy last night, he was playing like classical gas, and then, man, he nailed Meatloaf. That was crazy. It was just awesome. Or it's like, well, it was a little bit much, but, he was a really good player, though. He was in the wrong venue, but brave enough for him to go up and do it. And it's like, okay, well, whatever, where the chips fall, they fall. But the thing is that you gave them a night that gave them an experience. And that's why you guys hear me say that when you're on stage, you are a entertainer first. And I know not everybody can do that. You have to learn how to do that. And the only way you learn how to do that is through experience. And the more you do it, the more natural it becomes. But the more you do that, the less boring life gets, the less mundane life gets. And I know not everybody can be a musician or whatever. So it's not even just about music. It's anything that you want to be doing in life, try it. Be a successful failure, like I say. Try something. If you fail, try again. Try something else. And if it just doesn't work, okay, accept it. Move on to something else that might interest you. I tend to go through phases of, okay, I'm interested in this now. Now I'm interested in this. Now I'm interested in this. And it's always something positive to always be learning and discovering. I love meeting new people. I really do. And I love sharing what I do. Okay, yes, I'm a natural born attention whore, so, show off central. I get it. Whether I'm good or not, it doesn't matter to me. I'm having a time of my friggin' life anyway. But my goal with this channel is to inspire you guys to challenge yourselves. Get out of your shells, because, look, the people that were there tonight, and this is something like, depending on what I'm playing, depending on how much I can watch the audience. Now, when I'm playing the more challenging things, this is where, like, for example, just adjusting my chair properly makes a huge difference for me. I tend to like to sit to the side of a mic. I don't know why, it's just the way I play. Everybody else seems to sit straight into the mic. I can't play like that. I have to be comfortable. But the reason why I sit to the side is because I'm singing into the mic. I need to see the mic, but I also need to see the neck of the guitar when I'm playing the fancy stuff, right? And especially if it's a lot of chord changes or whatever. I don't sit on one chord. Now, some stuff you could play blindfolded, but some stuff you can't. But the thing is that I like to, when I can get a little bit of a breather and look up, I like to look at the audience. And I love the idea when I look at the audience, I don't see any cell phones other than recording. I don't see any people, tuned out, so to speak. They're tuned in. Why? Because they've had enough of their Facebook for tonight. They've had enough of their YouTube for tonight. Now they're going to take in real life. Now, I get the kind of little bit of a hypocrisy here of, yes, this is on YouTube, but because you weren't there, so now you get to catch the after show, right? You know what I mean? But on the other hand, you do get to do something that is very special when you're there, and that's just take in life. And I'm going to leave it at that. I can go on forever. I'm all stoked. I can't wait till next week. I don't know what I'm going to do next week, but it's probably going to be something pretty fun. So anyway, I'll leave it at that. And so anyway, you guys have yourselves a great night or day or whenever you're watching this. If you've followed this long, thank you very much. Hopefully I will get a full 3-hour show on pretty soon. That's my goal. That is my goal. And to really give you a good performance live. Tonight was a good performance. I enjoyed it. People enjoyed it. I don't know if I had the right songs for tonight, but it was really good. It was really good. So next week will even be better. And I can't wait to give that to the audience. And then, hopefully you guys start going in and just take in the live show somewhere. And, I mean, I did this, I did whole tonight. And I splurged tonight. I bought 2 extra Coca-Colas tonight. I had 4. Yeah, I know. I'm a rebel. The whole night cost me less than $10, except for the gas to get there. But I had some other things I had to do anyway. So, all right. So you guys have yourself a great night. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Be true to yourselves. Be true to others. Always do the right thing. Have yourselves a great night, eh?